Hello, hello. As you can see, we're reading Bloom into You. And as you can see, we're pretty far behind on it. Um, this was one of the more popular series I read back on the first iteration of the channel, especially in China. Um, and after I kind of took a break with the channel after it got taken down, and I was on that little hiatus, I still kept up with it for a few chapters. So there's a few chapters that there's no recordings of, but at a certain point I stopped. I stopped kind of reading New Yuri in general. Um, and since the channel has returned, we haven't really returned to Yuri in any significant way. I read a bit of Kaze-san because I was going to see Takashima Sensei, so it felt, appropriate. And now I've heard recently the Bloom into You is ending, so I'd kind of like to get caught up with it before it ends. So that's what we're doing now. I don't really want to get into the reasons why I was taking a break from Yuri. It's not a bad thing. It's not like I lost interest in the genre. It all just has to do with kind of personal emotional circumstances in my life. Certain things that I was doing, certain things that were happening around me. Again, not trying to make this sound dramatic or anything. I just don't really want to get into it because it's a whole thing. But it wasn't bad. It was just emotional, and because of that, I didn't think I could handle the emotions of Yuri on top of that, kind of complicating that. You know, when you talk about things like love, when you have love as in, you know what? Let's just start reading. Okay, so the last chapter I read, which is where I was like, no, I can't handle this right now, is where you, at long, long last, finally confesses to Nanami Senpai. She says, I love you. They both kind of privately freak out for a second. Nanami says, I'm sorry, kind of apologizing for freaking out and not responding right away. And Yu interprets this as, I'm sorry, I can't return these feelings. Like, I no longer feel in love with you now that your love is, my love for you is being reciprocated, which, this is a major theme of the series, that she can't really handle that. So there's this miscommunication, and Yu runs off before Nanami can explain. And now we join Yu lying through the panels in bed, remembering what she said. Why did I have to not say that? I can't find the right piece. This is a cool cover page. The evening sky peeking through the missing pieces. Okay. So Yu's on her way to school. She's looking a little down. She thinks she got rejected, so that's fair. Here's my favorite character, Koyomi, scoping her out, noticing probably that she's a little off. What's wrong? It's nothing. This series hasn't been like super angsty, I would say. Of course, it's been quite dramatic and quite tragic at times. But to me, angst is kind of different. Angst is sort of like an emotional tenor of kind of like something resonating to a deepness that interferes with your life, and it's codified through scenes like this, where if this was just a tragedy, if this was just like a sad scene, then the development here would probably be more you telling Koyomi, geez, I just got rejected. And I think this series has the maturity to go down that route. Like the characters kind of have the emotional maturity for the most part to go down that route. If the plot kind of wanted it, but here we can see Nakatani Neo wants the angst. It's time to go for the angst route. The classic "it's nothing." How many times have we seen that deep with an angst? What is love in the end? Well, that's a good question. Oh my gosh, I love this shot so much. So, 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 so much. It's not framed any more dramatically than it needs to be. It's just the feeling of being in this sort of space, continuing with your life as normal, with these big, big questions just always there with you. It's a word I could never say, even though I'd always wanted to. But now that I've said it, I don't understand what it really is. So, yeah, like you came to this idea that really she does love Nanami-senpai, and that she should say something about it. And that kind of after seeing her sort of recover in the aftermath of the play and really become her own person, she thought, maybe it's okay now. Like, maybe we don't have to have this strange relationship where Nanami is in love with her and that those feelings are never reciprocated, and yet she just gets to go on expressing them. But we never really were privy to Yu's thought process when she decided. It all just sort of happened in little bursts, little moments of something kind of leaking out of her innermost mind, her half saying things and half realizing things. So like when did it really become real for her? Like, what does it mean? Is this what a broken heart feels like? Ooh, and she thinks of her friend Akari, who was rejected by her senpai on the basketball team. I guess she'll want to try to connect with her. She remembers her crying. I didn't cry. I don't know. My heart feels numb. Oh, what a complicated situation. It's like it's gone off somewhere without me, even though it's mine. Another really haunting shot. And again, just the understatedness of it. First, we have that very understated shot of her in the classroom in real life, and a similarly understated shot of her in her memories in this imagined space. But they both have that feeling of just being there, and dealing with these emotions. Was this love? Time for a Stuco to get going. Student council. I get you. Okay. So we go back to this iconic little tea house, home in the student council. Sasaki senpai, or whatever her name is, Saiki senpai, there with Nanami senpai. They give a stilted introduction to each other. Nanami clearly whipping her head around out of conversation with her friend. Kind of shocked that Yu is here. I think probably she'd just been keeping her mind off of it, you know? She'd probably just like decided she couldn't really think about that incident anymore. So when she sees Yu, it's like, oh geez, no, wait a minute. I never actually dealt with this. Alright, Yu is a nice kohai. Prepares some drinks, some coffee and some tea. Business continues as usual. Ooh, but ooh, Nanami senpai. Ooh, okay, all right, good for her. She's not down for the angst. She's not down for even a half chapter of angst. She's like, no, we're gonna figure this out. Okay, all right, okay. I'm happy. I'm happy. I hope they have a good conversation. Yu is like so miserable looking at her. This is actually so intensely painful. What is she doing? She's like almost resentful. Like she thinks she's just been rejected, and now it seems like her rejecter is just kind of tormenting her. It's not saying anything. That Nanami thinks that maybe they can just skip any sort of unpleasantness, any sort of unhappiness, and go straight into some other mutually acceptable friendship. without anyone even noticing that anything had changed. There's nothing else to say, or is she gonna try to console me? Okay. Whoa. She whips her hand on the spot. Nice. Dramatic. Oh. Oh, this is okay. This is only going to lead to further complication. This was quite bold of you. I'm kind of impressed, you know. She's like she's not standing for this. She doesn't want to be consoled. I think that would be like the worst for her. It would be so humiliating for her. So she's trying to avoid that at all costs and is basically reading that Nanami was going to console her. She's saying, okay, like, this is me telling you no. This is me telling you, like, don't try to say anything about this. I understand what the situation is. You just need to drop it. And Nanami, I don't know what her actual intent was. I really don't know. I like, I think this is still ambiguous to me too. She says, I'm sorry, and then Yu runs off. Okay? And then she's like, wait, no. But only in her head. She can't make herself actually say anything or do anything. So I thought, oh, she actually wants to reciprocate. She's like maybe fine with actually trying to have a proper relationship now. But then it was too late. She was misunderstood. And now we've just got this like decisive miscommunication. But like it's probably more complicated than that. Probably she's not really sure what to do either. So in this situation, I'm not really sure what her plan was. Like I don't know what she was going to try to say to you. Maybe she doesn't even know. Maybe she was just locked in paralysis and couldn't do anything either. But in this moment, she really can't push it. She just gives her the form. And they split up. Can't believe it hurts to be with her. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh. What can I even say to her now? Yeah, so Nanami doesn't really know either what she can possibly say now. And I don't know either. I genuinely don't know. I don't know what she wants to do. So this is her acting troupe. I thought this was a great plot development. That Nanami-senpai ends up joining a local theater troupe after the play was such a big success. I think it perfectly encapsulates her entire character arc. That she wants something for herself. She wants something that's like all her. And through the play, not only did the play kind of teach her that with its message, but just by doing the play, she proved to herself that she's more than just standing in the shoes of her sister. She's more than just a replacement for her sister. So I thought that was a nice little development, and it kind of keeps the play theme throughout the series, which was of course such a major plot arc from nearly the very start. Standing on the sidelines, thinking back to that moment as well. So I hope we see. Is there more introspection? Did she think I was turning her down when I apologized? Well, I think so, yeah. But then she says that's not it. Yeah, okay. No, I think, yeah, she gets it. I was just apologizing for never considering her feelings. There's no reason to tell her that because it won't change anything. I can't answer Yu's feelings. Okay. 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 So she feels bad because, of course, she realized that this sort of facade, only 35 chapters in, she realizes that this whole kind of facade of a relationship is probably just sort of inherently messy. And that the idea that Yu would eventually fall in love with her, which, although she made Yu promise that she wouldn't and seemed to think of Yu as sort of aromantic, she realized later like that was kind of an unreasonable thing to just assume with such certainty to just make her vow or whatever. And now we're in, yes, a very messy situation. And it seems like there's one beautiful, miraculous, shining, golden path forward, which is just, hey, you guys love each other now. Can't you just like date? Can't you just have a totally loving relationship now? But no, because Nanami-san has always actually been terrified of that. It's the very reason she was so attracted to you. It's because she didn't feel that fear when getting close with her. Let's try that again. You're acting like you've experienced this before, but girl B never has. Oh, getting too into it. How many lines, so you have to make sure every word and gesture count. Even though she's just girl B. And she had said before that this acting coach was like a tyrant or something. I really like this character. This whole thing just really interests me, you know? It's not something I had ever considered doing myself, joining like an acting troupe. But I don't know, I can really see the appeal. You know, you take it seriously, you know, it's still very low level and yet you take it seriously. And you get to really eventually produce something you can be proud of. Anyways, okay. Really rung you in. Nara Sensei is only tough on people she sees potential in. Keep at it. I like the variety of people in this troupe too. Here we see like a middle-aged or older businessman, and this lady I think is probably middle-aged too. And then there's also like the former classmate of her older sister that came in and coached them, I think is in this troupe as well. Well, whatever. Don't worry, it's a lot of fun. It's tough, but I like that. The people here don't know how I am at school. Being the least experienced person here is completely normal. There's no reason or opportunity for me to put on airs. Oh, that does sound so lovely, doesn't it? I think this is just such a wonderful development for the character. Well, she still has the thing from the aquarium on her bag. Never considered it before. Could find a place to belong other than at East Side. So yeah, this is the same appeal that spending time with you had, right? She didn't have to put on airs. Nothing was expected of her. So yeah, she's kind of feeling another kind of source of conflict here of like, not only, okay, like the sort of pseudo relationship she had with you certainly seems like it's come to an end. I don't think they're going to be sneakily kissing and stuff anymore. I think she's totally abandoned that. She knows that if that was ever to happen again, she would actually have to take the plunge and be in such a relationship. And with all the anxiety that comes from that, and with all the issues of self and identity and being able to change and having expectations put on you. And then she's starting to think like, I don't even know if I knew that. I'm like happy now. The tropes, the troupe, school, home. I'm sure there are other places for me out there too. Oh, she took it off. She took it off. Oh God, she took it off. The angst continues. She's not actually too angsty, but like, if you sees her bag, and that it's not on there anymore. She isn't the girl who couldn't fall in love with me anymore. He was no longer special to me. I miss her. Okay. What is love in the end? You return to the narration bubbles. You also holding her matching charm from the aquarium, which before she had on her back, I think, or she had somewhere very important, and puts it in the drawer along with her copy of the Student Council play. Symbolism. You see the symbolism? Symbolism is burning me up. Okay, so, okay. I don't know anymore. Don't think I ever will. What? These feelings have nowhere to go. Alright, I guess that's the end. Yeah. Very, very angsty chapter. But good. A good one. Yeah, we're gonna keep at it. We're gonna take the plunge on this. We'll just keep uploading videos, hopefully every day, until I've caught up. And then we'll be ready for the big finale. Okay. Bye-bye.